actually at the airport on my way to catch a flight, but there's really interesting movement happening in the Indian stock market right over this last week. And I wanted to quickly put out a video on what exactly is going on. Now, to begin with, the Sensex has been up 3,000 points this week. The Nifty's crossed 23,300, right? So why are the markets rising? So the Nifty has gone up 4.26% this week, and the Sensex has gone about 4.17% this week. And we were seeing this massive cut, and everybody was feeling really bad about where the market is going. And I remember Dhirendra Kumar saying on one of my shows that the market tends to go down the staircase but come up the lift. So the question is, has the lift started moving, and should you be attempting to get on board? Because a lot of the analysts are asking if the worst is over and if the market is going to turn around. Now, to answer that question, we have to look at what's happening in the market. Also, the mid cap and the small caps were up. The index of both of these were up about 7.2% and 8.1% respectively. Now, the big things have not changed, right? So Donald Trump's trade wars has not changed. There's no real breakthrough in Ukraine yet. So what's going on? First of all, markets are all about valuation, and this is the first answer. There's a drop in the valuation because the stock prices have dropped and investors are finding this attractive. And this is because of something called the PE ratio. Give me a minute. And this is a simplified explanation of PE ratio, which is the price to earnings ratio. This is a way to compare the price of the stock with the earning capacity of the company. It effectively tells you how much an investor is willing to pay per 1 rupee of that company's earnings. I'll give you the formula for this. Where people actually calculate price to earnings. It's just share price divided by earnings per share. And it gives an investor the idea of whether the price has run up too much and if it's still in some way connected to the ground of how the company is doing, or is it just sentiment, right? So there was a feeling in September last year that our large cap stocks had run up too much. So our price to earnings ratio for Nifty 50, which is our large cap stocks, had gone up to 23.8, which is too hot. It's come down to 19 times, right? Which seems to be in the comfort level for a lot of investors. The auto sector, the FMCG sector, they've fallen to 20 times from 37 times price to earnings ratio. And there's this great article in the Business Standard that I'm referring to about what's going on in the market. It's been written by Sai Aravind. It's really good. You should take a look at it as well. It's in the Business Standard, right? So the valuations of our biggest stocks or our biggest companies have actually cooled off quite a bit from September to where we are in March. And this is something that investors are finding attractive, so they're coming back in. Also, there's a superstition in the market that the Nifty never falls in March. So they're saying, okay, you know what? March is back. So they're calling it Marvelous March. The other thing that's happening, remember when the FIIs or the foreign investors were selling our stocks and moving their money back to the US, they've started to come back. So global funds are now become record buyers again, and they've bought 1,462 crore rupees of stocks. And that was on Tuesday, and on Thursday they bought 3,239 crore rupees of stocks in our market. So basically there were 2 days in the last 1 week where foreign investors bought our stocks instead of selling. And this has given a sort of sense that, okay, maybe there is a turnaround and people are seeing something different. India had a couple of good numbers come in, and this is our point number 3. Retail inflation has sort of moderated. It's not as hot as it was. So it's at a 7-month low of 3.6 this for February. The IIP numbers, so our industrial production numbers, which is our factory output, has actually gone up to an 8-month high, and this is giving us a good sense as well. And they're hoping that maybe this would mean that corporate numbers for the quarter are not so dull as they were last time. The rupee has also had a good week. It has posted its largest weekly rise in 2 years. It's still quite weak compared to the dollar, but it's moving up for a change as opposed to moving down. And finally, global stocks are rallying because the US Federal Reserve has suggested that it will make 2 rate cuts this year. And so that's boosted like global markets. And there's also a sense that in this entire Trump wars, it gives a feeling that India has been able to manage the situation well. And it doesn't seem like we will take a direct hit from it so far. So there's a sense of optimism in our market, and it's showing up in the stocks. So that's where we are right now. Over the longer term, is this a complete turnaround? There's a sense again that the Nifty might find some resistance, a little closer to maybe the 23,000 23,500 spaces, but we'll have to see how that actually plays out. But for now, at least, it does seem like it's not all doom and gloom in the stock market. I've always believed that retail investors who are there for the long term should really get a sense of the value that you're buying rather than the emotion of what is happening in the stock market. So leave me a comment if there's any portion of this that you would like broken down, like PE ratio, or there's some portion of the market that you don't understand, and maybe we can do like a simple breakdown of what's happening in our market. I'm actually waiting for a flight in Bangalore, but I'll be back in Mumbai soon, and we'll do more regular videos over the coming week on what's happening in our market. Okay, you guys have a good weekend.